Bruh. see how people look down. I'm on the outside. Here's where the story ends.
Folks. Folks. It's the big 33-day chat. Chat, my hair is a disaster today. It is awful. I just didn't get it right. It looks like shit. It's the only thing I have. People could see me. They could spy me. Hello. I just looked down at my phone at the stream and I just saw me going, shit's goofy. But folks, what a day today. Tuesday. Oh, my hair. It's pissing me off. Like, look at this little thing. Look at this little strand. Stuff. Drew Dalman, folks. Drew Dalman has retired. He retired earlier today, which is just, I can't believe that. That is insane to me. That is insane. Hopefully he figures out whatever he needs to do, because he's off to bigger and worse things than the NFL. Just kidding. Most of these guys probably will, like, buy some small restaurant somewhere and live their life either, you know, at a barbecue joint or something like that, or become like a podcaster or a coach. That's a thing that exists within a space and time, folks. Did I just see 2 points being scored within a few minutes? Wow. Yeah, basketball teams tonight are sucking, chat. Like, it's kind of insane. Like, these motherfuckers just aren't making shots. I think everybody's banned right now from shit. I think the league is like, nope. You guys are all going under. Nobody's hitting anything. Man slammed into your driveway. Winds out my car. Chat, there's like a hair or something disrupting something. It's really bothering me. With soggy hot dog buns. Bulls are getting their asses handed to them. And it's pretty hilarious. They're so bad. They have no defense. Their offense is just, I mean, Colin Sexton maybe will play meaningful stuff. Trey Jones was draining some threes earlier, but the Bulls just, they suck. They are so bad. And it's unfortunate. It's hard to watch. It really is. I took over 51.5 in the fourth quarter, and that's just because, I don't know. It's probably going to go under. It's probably going to hit like 47. Let's see, it's probably at 49 right now. No, it's at 53 and a half, the line. I got it at a 51, so we'll see. There's 6.5 minutes. I'm just going to kind of leave it alone, not look at it. But folks, good to be here. Good to be live and alive. That was a... Is it raining outside? It's cloudy. I'm down $2 today in the stock market, chat, and I don't have a lot of money in there. It's just kind of like a little savings, and I'm down $2. I never go up $2. That rarely ever happens. It's only, you're going to go down $2. How about going up $2? I know it's not a lot of money, but let's just, can it look good? It's ridiculous. I don't got too much money into the stock market, though. I only got about like $100. Nothing too crazy. I'm at 97.39, down $2.48. We got a little bit of money in Ethereum Classic, just because, you know, it could go crazy. Google, pretty much because I kind of work for Google. The S&P 500, I only got like $33 in there, but... And then AMD, I have 31. The big 33 and 31, folks. The big numbers. The synchronicities. The... What do you want to call it? Whatever the fuck it's called. Mantria. Or something like that. On the sidewalk, I guess I get up. I guess I'll go for a walk. 100th time. You weren't the only one. But yeah, Chad, Drew Dalman, that fucking blows, dude. That shit fucking blows. That sucks. That sucks so bad. But whatever. If we get Lindenbaum, though, I think it works out. I don't know. I think Tyler Lindenbaum might be a little more expensive. Maybe not. Maybe not. I know we get some of that cap back. But, like, you're 27, man. You're 2 years older than me. But to be fair, offensive linemen they're getting beat up a lot, and he probably was. He played like almost every snap this year, so. But yeah, that shit fucking sucks. I still think the Max Crosby thing is still a reasonable scenario. I think it's a scenario that does exist. But at the same time, I think it's kind of it's probably gonna be like Giannis. It's either he goes to Chicago or he stays in Vegas and then signs with Polymarket. I would be so fucking pissed. Oh my god, I would be livid. Oh my god. I mean, I was pretty mad about the whole Giannis thing too. I didn't care where he went. I was just like, come on, let's get a big splash move going. That didn't happen. There was really no big splash move this NBA offseason, unfortunately. Or not offseason, but the trade deadline in the NBA. That shit kind of sucked. Especially being a Bulls fan, they just completely cleaned house, practically. Released a bunch of mid players with more mid. But all of them are guards. Shit pissed me off. I was at work. I was like, what is going on? What are these guys? What are they doing? I was like, Anthony Simmons. I was like, huh, maybe. Oh, maybe that could get us over the hump. No. Colin Sexton. Okay, that one kind of got me hyped, though, just a little bit. Because I like Colin Sexton. I do. I think he's a good basketball player. He's a good shooter. This song gives me, like, I want to say PTSD, that's the wrong word. But it just... I don't know. Gives me a feeling that I'm not the biggest fan of. Something I noticed when the night was just right. Chat, I need to be just a radio host. I'd have the bangers. I got the voice. We could get the welcome to 90210. Or, no, that's stupid. Welcome to 44.4 FM. We are live here in the burbs. We're live and alive. Good to be here on a late Tuesday night. We got good music. We'll start the night off with some Incubus. Echo. As I echo out into the abyss. Cheers. And then you hear like the torch and the mic on the radio, and then or I do like a lighter or something like that, and then ooh, and then it's like, and then it cuts into this. It's just too good, chat. It is just too good, quite frankly. Incubus Brandon. Such a line. What a good line, bro. Strange how it turns out that way, yeah. Could you show me, dear, something I've not seen, something infinitely interesting? Could you show me, dear, something I've not seen, something Chat, it just sucks watching the Bulls play shitty basketball. It's like, I don't even want to watch this, bro. Like, I'm forcing myself. Mainly because I got somewhat of money on it, but it's only on, like, points. So I don't give a shit what the Bulls do besides just score. They're not going to win. They just suck. Hopefully... Man, what's his name from Kansas, bro? Yeah, Darren Peterson. He's gonna be a dog, and if he's a Bulls player, holy shit! Knowing the Bulls, though, we would probably get someone like, I mean, actually, it would make sense. But he's another guard. He's a point guard, sure. But Keaton Wagler, I wouldn't hate it. But, I mean, there's a lot of names on here. I'm just like, eh. There was actually... No. Yeah, Nate Ament, or whatever the fuck his name is. But, yeah, we'll see. I need 2 more buckets in 2 minutes, chat. I think it happens, but you never know. I've seen teams not score in 2 minutes. And I'll be like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, 1 more bucket. Yeah, it should be a lock. I did 19 bucks on over 40 or over 51.5. Good thing I did over. I was kind of gonna do under because the way everything was going tonight, but whatever. The song also gives me kind of like a jump scare moment, low key. The song, a very specific moment that I do not like. There we go, chat. 44 bucks. We are locked in. Let's do the classic more or less. Let's have a little bit of fun for a little bit before we possibly play Warzone. Why the hell is it so zoomed in? Alright, let's turn the music down just a little bit. Alright, which has more monthly searches, pink or pizza? Well, pizza? I would assume the reason Pink only gets 6,000 or gets 6,000 or 6 million is because of the color pink. I don't think necessarily the artist. Kylie Jenner pizza. 6 million people search Kylie Jenner. Halle Berry or Kylie Jenner? Probably Kylie Jenner. Yeah. Costco or Halle Berry? Probably Costco. 30 million is a lot. Banana or Costco? Probably Costco. That could have been a gotcha. Banana or LGBTQ? Probably LGBT. No. I was going to say, I mean, there's definitely a lot of conservatives who probably search that shit up quite a bit. Who has more monthly streams? Chief Keef or Britney Spears? Probably Chief Keef, honestly. I might be cooked. Damn. Which has a higher rating? Titanic, of course. Well... Okay. Oh, you guys can't even see the rating. There we go. Titanic or 13 Assassins? I have no idea. I'm gonna guess Titanic. Pretty close, damn. New Police Story or 13 Assassins? Probably 13 Assassins. I don't know any of these movies. My Father and My Son. I don't know any of these actors. Maybe, kind of looks familiar. Probably My Father and My Son. 8.2, I've never heard of that. Good Time, there's not even a picture here. I'm going to probably go with that. Can I get something that I know? Okay. Dead Man's Chest. I would have to assume it's probably like a 7.5. 7.4? I mean, that was close. American History X is highly regarded. 8.5. Spirited Away for sure. 8.6, right above American History X. The Exorcist or Spirited Away. I bet The Exorcist is like 8.3. 8.1. Wow. Exorcist or Halloween. I would assume this is, I don't know which one. I'll probably go with The Exorcist. 6.5. Hell yeah. I did good on that. The average is 3.95. Is that my average? You placed in the top 7.4%. Well, that one didn't seem like relatively too difficult. Now, the movie one, besides the movies I had no idea what they were. Holy shit, the Bulls. Oh, there's only 30 seconds. I was like, they're kind of climbing. It's a 6-point game, but no. Oh, yeah, let's take a look at the Scary Movie 6 trailer. Let's see if it's good at all. We're going to take a look at the Scary Movie 6 trailer, folks. This might be a YouTube video, who knows. But, yeah, Scary Movie 6. I love the first one. I love the second one. I think the third one is probably my favorite. It's probably the most nostalgic for, like, yeah, it's pretty. I love the third one. The fourth one also is kind of fire. I can't lie. I kind of like the fourth one, War of the Worlds. There was another movie, The Grudge, I think that was what they were playing off of. I don't remember. And then Scary Movie 5 sucked ass. That was like, what, 2013? Yeah, that shit was 2014, 15, something. That shit was dog shit. Maybe 2016. I don't remember. But that shit was ass. Scary Movie 6, I think Anna Faris is back, and everybody from the old Brenda, and I don't remember all the actors and characters' name, but I think everybody from the first two at least, and then maybe the third. Who knows? But I'm excited. I do enjoy me some scary movies, so let's check the trailer out, shall we, folks? I think we shall.
My God! He stabbed her! Not her! My pronouns are they, them. He stabbed them!
Be back.
Kai Cenat, but also that was really cringe. And the Big 2-6, really? In the Big 2-6. It's actually they, them. I don't know. It's cringe at this point. If you're gonna do trans jokes or just whatever, gender joke, whatever the fuck, make it funny. I mean, I guess your average coworker and probably Gen X and maybe late millennial may enjoy that. I don't know. I found it kind of unfunny. Let's continue. Kai Cenat kind of is cringe, but whatever.
Hello, Tuesday.
I have been preparing for this.
Wait, did he say hello Tuesday?
Hello,
There she is.
You look like shit. Should we hug? I really want to, but I'm a Republican now, so I'm supposed to be racist.
Oh, girl, all white people are racist anyway.
That's pretty good.
Hey there, we heard tell of a Halloween party. We're here to drink, play bad music, do some half gay shit.
Oh, they're doing.
Watch us half gay.
Okay, I like that one. That's a good one. Okay. The dildos. Oh, that's just awful. Get out. Okay. Oh.
Stop smiling!
That's kind of classic scary movie right there. They did Weapons as well. Weapons, Sinners. The Stuff. Every line will be crossed. I mean, that's kind of the vibe I get with that, but that trailer had a mixture of like, oh my god, this is awful, to oh my god, we're so back, to just what the fuck am I watching? I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it. I'll be there in the theaters for it. Or, I mean, that could be a good reaction one, but I would kind of like to see it in the theaters. I saw the fifth one in theaters. Did I see the fourth one? No, I was way too young for that. Obviously, the other ones I watched when I was younger, but I don't know. I do enjoy seeing Anna Faris, the chick who played Brenda. I like that we're gonna do half gay shit, and then what's his name is like, what do you mean? What do you mean half gay? Or why not? Why only half gay or something like that? That was pretty funny. That was a good one. I enjoyed that. I think just the worst one of them all was just that they I'm they them. It's like, all right, bruh. Hate to see my goat washed. It's unfortunate, but no, it could be a good movie. I think it could be good. Since everybody's back. But you never know in the Big 2-6. A lot of this shit sucks nowadays. It really does. But it could be good. You never know. Uh-oh, chat. Oh, then the thing's back. Beatra, Drew Dalman. He's gone, folks. It's very unfortunate. I'm just seeing if there's any new, trending stuff besides the Drew Dalman. There's a whole ass stream with Hutch, Summit, Nick Merckx, Ninja, Cloaksy, somebody I don't know, Nade Shot, and some other people. Who watches this shit, bro?
No.
Who watches it? 80,000 people are in this. Chat, like, none of these people are real, bro.
Wait, Dennis, why did you say watch this? There were sharks in there?
Dude, this guy's mouth is open all the time. Chat, I'm skipping through it all. This motherfucker's mouth is open the whole time. This motherfucker's mouth is open the whole fucking time. Look at this.
No.
Wait, Dennis, why did you say watch this?
Just, we'll go through it.
Fuck ass truck.
Okay, let's pause it. Okay, mouth kind of open, but he's obviously...
Right.
Yeah. He's saying something. Mouth open. Mouth open. Mouth open. Mouth open. This dude is a mouth breather. This dude is a mouth breather. I'm not even a mouth breather. There's sometimes I may have my mouth open. But like, not to the extent of this. Maybe I'm just hating, but oh my god. I'm just hating. That's all it is. I'm not a fan of the content. And it's not even the content, it's just gaming, but like, Him. People who pay taxes and unironically watch the burnt penis should be sent to the front lines of Iran and Israel. I agree. I do agree on that. I do. You know what I also agree on about sending people to the front lines? Let's go to our GOAT.
Bruh.
Wrong thing. I clicked the wrong thing. I gotta find the clip. Beep. Yeah, here we go.
You know what I've always said? You know how you got to vote to go to war, supposedly? I've always said we should pass a law that when Congress votes to go to war, someone in their immediate family has to begin immediate military service. If they vote yes to go to war, then someone in their family, because I'm sick and tired of the Vietnam stuff. You know what I've always said?
He's great. I enjoy Jesse Ventura. I do. I do. I do. I do. But oh yeah, Seth, we just watched the Scary Movie 6 trailer. Missed out on that reaction. It'll be up on YouTube. I mean, you could probably just scroll back into the into the VOD right now, but yeah. I mean, it was alright. There were some funny things, or some things I was just like, oh. It was a mixture of, oh, this shit's trash, and oh, we're so back. I was just like, eh. Let's get some info on Drew Dalman, who at 27 years old retired. Today sucks. Oh, there you are. What's up, Rob? We're about to get into the Drew Dalman shit. It sucks. What's good old Kyle Long have to say about it, folks?
Chicago Bears, Kyle. Drew Dalman, the center, is calling it quits at the age of 27.
Yeah, I don't know much else except for the headline, because we were sitting right here at the desk about 10 minutes ago when this thing came rolling across our feed.
Yeah, today
It's
sucks.
just,
That shit's
you know,
ass.
Surprising, but then again, he's a Stanford guy, and these guys that went to Stanford, the men and women that go to Stanford, they're in a better place, you know, than a lot of us. So I expect him to have a good plan. Look, he took
Our
less
offense was a
money
machine, mostly
to go
due
to
to our
Chicago
line being
Bears
off,
to play center.
awesome. Yeah,
and
I
he
know.
had a tremendous amount of success.
Yeah, it sucks. At least the silver lining is at least we have money from it, and we can get maybe Tyler Lindenbaum, which I mean, he's not better than Drew Dalman, but he's a decent replacement, I guess. At least it wasn't Joe Thuney. If Joe Thuney was gone, fuck.
In that offense, he made the Pro Bowl, as you just said. That was his first one. You would imagine a guy like that would want to stick around, but obviously we have to respect his decision. We don't know everything that's going on.
Yeah, we don't know if his body's breaking down. Maybe he's got some issues that are bothering him. He can't get out of bed in the morning. You know, you played the game. Sometimes it's hard to get out of that bed. Now, you look at that check, it's probably a lot easier to get out of that bed. But look, he was a guy when they
probably saw his check. He was like, okay, I'm set.
Fit in that Ben Johnson scheme, and he did a great job of it. They kind of adjusted their scheme a little bit, and he was fantastic in the middle. Leaves a big void there. Not only that, when you look at the Bears, Trapillo, the left tackle, is also probably going to be out at least
He'll be back
until
like week 14.
Yeah, he's had a major injury at left tackle. So now all of a sudden, you look at a team strength from a year ago. You don't have your starting center. You don't have your starting left tackle.
Yeah, now we need to fill 2 spots. Speaking of that, let's do a mock draft. I haven't done an official mock draft yet this year. I think we should do our first 2026 NFL mock draft. I think that is a thing that we can do. I think it's a thing we should do. I'm not going to do any trades. But we're going to do the Bears. And let's start this up, folks. want to see. Let me just. Let's get some music. But yeah, let's do it. Lindenbaum is one of the few centers that might be better than Dalman. Might is for sure. And I think he definitely could be. I wouldn't mind having him. Few trade offers. Obviously, I'm not going to take any of those. Let's see who was taken, though. Fernando, obviously, to the Raiders. Arvel Reese to the Jets. Fucking, what's his name? Fano. Was it David Bailey or whatever? David Bailey to Tennessee. Carnell Tate. 5th is interesting. Ruben Bain. Kansas City taking Jeremiah Love. I think the Saints could possibly take him. All right. Caden Proctor. Damn. I think at this point, we could trade Cole Kmet and get Kenyon Sadiq. I don't think that's going to happen. The next best option right here is Peter Woods. Peter Woods is a dog. I also like... is he gone already? Oh, did TJ Parker? Damn, Detroit took TJ Parker. That sucks. So yeah, Peter Woods would be the draft pick there. Let's pause. Okay, we do have a 2nd round pick. I kind of forgot we had a 2nd round pick. For some reason, I didn't think we had one. Da 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 da. Alright, so 2nd round, we obviously need something here. Ty Simpson went to the Colts. Malachi Fields went to Miami. Or whatever his name is. Branch to the Raiders. That's actually kind of fire. Okay, so... Jadarian Price would be interesting, but no. Probably Ginnings, Dunker. Eli Stowers would be fire, but we can't take him here. AJ Halsey as well. Because Jaquan Brisker probably is not. Or we could go kind of close to home with Caleb Tiernan. Kamari Ramsey I like a lot. Only way I could see this being a positive if it gives the cap space to trade for Crosby. I know it's insane money, but his multipliers worth ethic is insane. And to raise the standard of the entire defense. Oh yeah, it would be the Khalil Mack trade times 5. It would be pretty crazy. Bisonatis probably would be the pick there, honestly. And I think I just saw the Patriots take Eli Stowers. That would be kind of crazy. Him and Drake May could go crazy. Wow, Kamari Ramsey just fell in my lap. I think I found our replacement for Jaquan Brisker, but also Darrell Jackson. I want to do a trade, but I just don't see it really happening. Kamari Ramsey's probably the safe pick there. I think Kamari Ramsey's probably the right pick. Replace Jaquan Brisker. Ramsey's a pretty good player. He is. And I think I'm going into this that we have Max Crosby. So I'm not really focused on an edge rusher. Another interior line. Notre Dame guy. Logan Jones at Iowa. Those Iowa guys are pretty good. You have to defend. Interesting. Dante Corleone, I wouldn't hate. Caleb Proctor. Drew Shelton. Those Penn State guys. Those Penn State guys are always... They're always crazy. Chat the beep.
Bruh. Bruh.
Chat, Pelicans Lakers is about to start. The first quarter line is 62.5, chat. 62.5. The under is plus 112. I might take that. But at the same time, I don't really want to. But I kind of do. It's in LA, though. $62.5 is really high. I'm going to slam that under. It's at plus odds. I'm putting $14 on it. Why the fuck would I not? Make that and I get $60. That's huge. We need that. Alright. Round 5. Oscar Delp. I don't hate that. J.C. Davis. Interior. Or just offense. Actually, no, he's a tackle. Katron Allen. I wouldn't hate. Kevin Coleman. Crawford. Some of these names I'm not super familiar. Kalen Black. I actually wouldn't hate him on our team. I think he's a decent fit, but... We need probably a linebacker, so I'm going to go with Michigan. Chat, this song is just fucking goddamn. Fucking The Walking Dead trailer. Maybe. It might have been actually in the show. I don't remember. Uh-oh. Alright, chat, we have 2 7th round picks. Let's see what we can do. Jamari Taylor. Patrick Payton. Yeah, probably. That's probably the right move. And then Jamari Taylor. Right back. Not a great one. I just spilt passion fruit juice on myself, Jack. I mean, that's what you call incredible, folks. That's what you call incredible. That's what you call game-changing. We love it, folks. We love it. That sucks. This draft class also isn't the greatest, so I hope we don't do something like this. And I bet we'll have some trades along the way.
top of the list to go out and get Tyler Linderbaum, who is your #1 ranked free agent?
That'd be pretty pricey for that. You're paying a lot of money for the left guard. You're paying a lot of money for the right guard, and it'd be. I mean, you're talking about getting way up there with the Linderbaum money. I don't know if they can really afford to do that, particularly when you look at what they had on the defense.
It dropped already to under 59.5. I'll take it.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
gonna
they
let it
will.
ride.
I think this is going to be one of those situations. Cade Mays, there's a name, the center from Carolina. He's an unrestricted free agent. There's some talk that they might not bring him back in Carolina. If he's on the market, maybe that's the kind of guy you go get and put him
You
in.
got to make a choice here, okay? If you're Ben.
Goodness gracious. And as soon as it loads, now it's like, nope, you don't get to watch. Because I hit, okay.
One of those games.
Bruh.
Maybe look back games. The future or one of the cornerstone pieces of AK's plan. When we only had a couple weeks ago, when Wes Unseld Jr. is like, well, we can't play 6 guards. There's either a disconnect or they don't talk enough to allow us to speculate that there might be one.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a great point, man.
We got to knock out that first ad break. We'll come back on the other side, continue to talk about what we saw tonight, and maybe actually talk about a little bit of the basketball that happened. Who knows? But let us know what you're thinking about in that chat. Keep the chats coming. Keep the likes coming if you want to take it on spin. Let us know what you're thinking about. Should we get right to our big takeaway?
I just don't get it.
Let's get to our big
wanna go
takeaway,
right
Joey.
there? All right.
Yeah, let's get to the big takeaway because I feel like this is going to be it. The big takeaway is presented by our friends at
You know what's funny? This just reminds me of when the Bears were just so bad. Now it's kind of with the Bulls.
Xfinity.
But the Bulls have been so bad for so long.
Imagine that. Big Dave, your big takeaway?
Why? Like why? The whole game was a why, but the main thing about it was why was Josh Giddey out there? I don't understand, and maybe there's something Billy's gonna say. You know what I mean? In the press conference, that GOAT could tell us as to why he's out there, because I'm sure that question is going to be asked and answered. But just from somebody who was
Yeah, I just don't even want to engage with Bulls basketball right now. It's just, it's just rough. It's really bad. And we got primaries today. One is good old Steve Kornacki.
Development. If you're Gonzalez, you've taken
My
a county
goat,
that you
Steve
lost
Kornacki, folks.
in
We love him.
2024 narrowly.
We love him a lot.
Tonight, it looks like you're on track to win it narrowly. We got to make sure there's not any more, a vote that's going to come in here. As you just saw, sometimes there's little scatterings, as you just saw in Durham County. But right now, that might be, when it gets to 95, that might be it.
We're in Texas. Okay, that means, what's her name? Crockett. Hopefully she's losing.
There. So Gonzalez, we saw in the early vote in Bear, this is 8 points. 8 points is what he won it by in 2024. Round that 7.5 up to 8. He's a little bit outpacing himself in Medina. Next door in Uvalde County. I do think we now have same day in Uvalde. Is that right, Adam?
Sorry, what was that?
Can you check Uvalde County in this Republican race? I have a note here that I think this is this reflects more votes since we last checked it. And I flag this one, folks, because this is 10% of the vote. I know this looks small, but in this district, this is probably 10% of the vote right here. And the significance is we have Herrera by 14. I believe, just check my my notes here, that yes, this was a Gonzales County. This was a 10-point Gonzales County in 2024. So this would, as much as you say Gonzales got a little boost next door in Medina, this would more than wipe it out. Do we know it all?
So yeah, we have a little bit of Uvalde. There's some election day vote in Uvalde. There's about 800 election day.
Yep.
And Herrera's winning that 54-28.
Okay, so it is. So yes, so Herrera is building his lead with the election day. This, if you're Herrera, is good news for you. Again, like 50%'s coming out of Bear, like 15, 16's coming out here, 10%'s coming out of Uvalde, and he is running better than in 2024 there. And this is a Valverde County, we're waiting on still. This is of everything that you're looking at here, this is the biggest piece where we have nothing. So take a look at that. But I really think so much now is going to be when we finally start to get same-day vote out of Bexar County. Does that move in Gonzalez's direction? He wins. Does it move in Herrera's direction? He can win this election. But that's another incumbent who's in trouble. So all these districts, we're showing you, we flagged as potential trouble for incumbents. Texas 2, Texas 8, Texas 18 was going to be an incumbent in trouble. Texas 33, Texas 23, North Carolina 4, all of them right now, to various degrees, the incumbents are in trouble. Let's go back to that Senate race here. I know people are I'm sure, itching to take a look here. Okay, again, on the Republican side, the picture hadn't really changed here. About 2.5
Jesus
points,
Christ.
Cornyn's margin. The ball game now is just
Sorry,
about
Charles.
who's going to
Kind of
finish
focused
first
on something
here,
else, so
who's
it's
going
kind
to
of
be able
pissing
to
me
say
off.
going into the runoff that they finished first, that they had the most votes. If you're Cornyn
Oh,
here,
but it's back to
this would be,
63 and a half.
the
It's a point over now.
expectations were pretty low for Cornyn. So if he is able to finish on top of Paxton in this preliminary, I think he may go into that runoff with a bit of an unexpected head of steam. And then depending on, how sort of, how do Republicans react to the Democratic result? Does that shape their thinking as they weigh that May 26th? That's when the runoff would be, May 26th. Real short campaign. Democratic primary, let's call that one up and just see if we got any new.
Jasmine
So the
Crockett,
Calorico
yeah,
margin,
that's her
again,
name.
it's hovering right where it was the last time we checked in, right around 70,000 votes. We still have yet to hear from Williamson County. That's a big piece of real estate. Williamson, Brazoria, that'll be, that's a fairly significant one when we get it.
We do have a couple election day comparisons in
Yeah.
in this race if you want to go
Yeah,
through
let's
them.
do that.
So like Fort Bend County, we have about 10,000 election day votes, 10,000. Those are breaking 53-42 for Crockett.
Okay.
She was winning the early vote 60-36.
She won the early vote 60-36, and she's winning the same day 53-42.
Yeah, that's right.
In the last hour, Israel has carried out more.
They have no Navy, it's been knocked out. They have no Air Force, it's been knocked out. They have no air detection, that's been knocked out. Their radar has been knocked out. And just about everything's been knocked out.
Speaking alongside the German Chancellor in the Oval Office, U.S. President Donald Trump took reporters' questions for the first time since launching the joint U.S.-Israel strikes on Iran.
And did Israel force your husband to launch these strikes against Iran? Did Netanyahu pull the United States into this war?
I might have forced their hand. Based on the way the negotiation was going, they were going to attack first. And I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand.
But one day earlier, Trump's
That's
Secretary of
crazy.
State said Israel was set to attack Iran, and Israel was a driving force behind America's latest strikes.
We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces.
Trump alleged there was an imminent threat, even though he previously claimed U.S. strikes in June of 2025 obliterated Iran's nuclear sites.
If we didn't do what we're doing right now, you would have had a nuclear war and they would have taken out many countries because you know what? They're sick people.
But in the same press conference, Trump contradicted himself, admitting Iran did not currently possess a nuclear weapon.
I mean, come on, man.
These people are crazy. And if they had a nuclear weapon...
Incredible. I mean, just incredible.
They would have used it.
As for regime change, Donald Trump
If they had one, they would have used it. Right. Right. Right.
told reporters he had people in mind to take over in Iran. There's just one problem.
Well, most of the people we had in mind are dead. So, we had some in mind from that group that is dead. Bruh. And now we have another group. They may be dead also. Bruh. Based on reports.
President Trump has also criticized Iran for targeting residential areas in countries that have been somewhat friendly to Iran, including Qatar, UAE, and Saudi Arabia.
Bruh.
Kimberly Helkett, Al Jazeera, the White House.
Most Americans oppose
St.
the
Mary's County,
strikes.
Maryland is a tidewater community about 1 hour's drive from Washington, also the home of a U.S. naval base and to many Trump supporters. 57% of people here voted for Trump in the last election.
Okay, just checked out Peter Woods highlights. Great run defender. Clemson use him at fullback or running back too. Yeah, he's definitely, if we got him, he would definitely be one of those players we would see in, you know, one of those big games where we need the touchdown, and he comes in to play fullback, and he's almost like the fridge type. That would be pretty fire.
And we asked them their thoughts about the U.S. strikes against Iran.
When somebody's promising you they want to develop a nuclear weapon so that they can extinguish you, that makes me nervous.
There might have been a softer way. I mean, there were a lot of lives lost and still going. I'm not sure the end game either.
National polling shows only 1 in 4 Americans approve of the strikes on Iran, and 56% believe Trump is too willing to use military force. But among just Republicans, 55% approve of the Iran strikes, though 42% say they'd be less likely to approve if U.S. troops are killed or injured. The poll was taken before
Well,
U.S.
guess what? I'm pretty sure that's what, yeah.
casualties were announced.
Yeah.
In Washington, we found a sampling of Republican voters visiting from around the country.
I supported it. As you know, it's been going on for way too long. And so it's a lot of freedoms that's really, that's been oppressed.
I think this is one of the first conflicts that we've entered into where they've already had, this is how long we focus.
And Iran is winning the Aircraft Navy in the Persian Gulf. Yep. Shit's gonna keep getting crazier. And apparently, you know, I saw a clip. What's his name said? Something about using ground troops, which we do not want. If I can find it.
Bruh.
Going to take. Like, there's already an estimate of, like, this is what our plan is.
While Republicans say they trust Trump to have a plan, the vast majority of Democrats and independents.
I just want to say I am more fearful than ever after this briefing that we may be putting boots on the ground and that troops from the United States may be necessary to accomplish objectives.
Independents say they do not. And the message from Washington
Pretty
about
crazy.
the timeline for the conflict has been
Pretty crazy.
contradictory. Americans are united in one thing, though. They're concerned about the impact on oil prices and the economy, the most direct impact to the homeland from a faraway war.
Bruh.
Heidi Jo Castro, Al Jazeera, St. Mary's County, Maryland.
Don't miss out. Get the full.
Always so fun, chat. Always so fun. Oh, it's lovely, chat. Just kidding, it's not lovely at all.
No place appears safe in Iran. From the capital Tehran to the cities of Qum and Isfahan, joint US and Israel strikes are hitting densely populated areas, leaving widespread destruction and mass casualties. In the city of Qum, the building of Iran's Assembly of Experts was hit. That's the body that chooses the new supreme leader. In the capital Tehran, 2 hospitals were evacuated with medical equipment left covered in dust and debris.
Jesus.
A deserted school was also struck with books and desks left damaged. Iran says more than 150...
Like, why? You're there to stop nukes, apparently. But instead, it's just like, no, we're going to kill all these people. We're going to strike schools. Broden, what's poppin'? Welcome, Broden. We're good to see you.
50 cities have been hit nationwide in hundreds of attacks since Saturday. Among the earliest victims of this war are some of the youngest. Around 170 people were killed when a strike hit a girls' school on Saturday. Most of the victims were children. Forensic teams are working to identify the remains.
Look carefully at these ruins. This is a school that has been bombed with the missiles of the Zionist regime. People, look, this is a school, not a military site for anyone to claim it was a military area.
One by one,
because Israel sucks.
Draped with the Iranian flag are carried by grieving loved ones. The procession moves through a community overcome with grief as they bury a generation too young to understand the conflict. Iran has launched retaliatory strikes around the region, targeting U.S. bases and oil facilities, although Tehran denies targeting civilians.
Liberal, happy fun, la la la, human smuggling, fentanyl deaths, forced government euthanasia, chopping up children's genitals, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Chat, I think we're all cooked, folks. I think it's over. I don't know how long it's going to last. I have a feeling, I don't know. But I did see one thing. Bill fucking Clinton. 4.5 hours.
All right, we will go on the record. This is a deposition. All right, we will go on. The authority granted to it pursuant to House Rule 10. Accordingly, House Rule 10 grants the committee broad jurisdiction for the committee to conduct investigations of any matter at any time.
Only 212,000 views is kind of crazy.
On July 23rd, 2025, the Subcommittee on Federal Law Enforcement of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform voted by voice to approve a motion directing the chairman to authorize and issue a subpoena to you for a deposition. On August 5th, 2025, Chairman Comer issued a subpoena for President Clinton to appear today for a deposition in furtherance of the committee's investigation into the actions and investigations of Mr. Jeffrey Epstein and Ms. Ghislaine Maxwell. I will now enter the original subpoena and corresponding cover letter from August 5th, 2025, as well as the additional subpoena from December 15th, 2025, determining a new date as Exhibit 1. I will enter as Exhibit 2 the correspondence between Chairman Comer and counsel for President Clinton and Secretary Clinton. This correspondence includes the following letters. October 6, 2025, letter from David E. Kendall to Chairman Comer and Ranking Member Garcia. October 22nd, 2025, letter from Chairman Comer to David E. Kendall. November 3rd, 2025, letter from David E. Kendall to Chairman Comer and Ranking Member Garcia. November 21st, 2025, letter from Chairman Comer and potential violations of ethics rules related to elected officials. The committee will ask President Clinton and Secretary Clinton all of its questions regarding Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell must be stated concisely and...
I think in 2008, when I had known since White House Historical Association, to basically for truth
statements, you could be subject to criminal prosecution, including but not limited to perjury. Do you understand?
Yes.
This includes both knowingly providing false testimony, but also stating that you do not recall or remember something when in fact you do. Do you understand?
Yes.
Furthermore, you cannot tell half-truths or exclude information necessary to make statements accurate. You are required to provide all information that would make your response truthful. A deliberate failure to disclose information can constitute a false statement. Do you understand?
I do.
Is there any reason you are unable to provide truthful testimony in today's interview?
I don't believe so.
Please note that if you wish to assert a privilege over any statement today, that assertion must comply with the rules of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. Pursuant to that, Committee Rule 16C1 states, for the chair to consider assertions of privilege over testimony or statements, witnesses or entities must clearly state the specific privilege being asserted and the reason for the assertion on or before the scheduled date of testimony or appearance. For the purposes of this deposition, objections must be stated concisely and in a non-argumentative or non-suggestive manner. If the witness refuses to answer a question to preserve a privilege, the committee may seek a ruling from the chair. If the chair overrules any such objection, the witness shall be ordered to answer. If the witness continues to refuse to answer a question despite being ordered to do so, the witness may be subject to sanction. Do you understand?
Yes.
Finally, I will note for everyone here today that the contents of what we discuss in the deposition today is confidential under the House Deposition Regulation. Under the rules, the chairman and ranking member shall consult before any release of testimony or transcripts, including portions thereof. This means it is a violation of House and committee rules to disclose the contents of the deposition prior to its official release. For this reason, the marked exhibits that we will use today will remain with the court reporter so that they can go into the official transcript, and any copies of those exhibits will be kept at the table or returned to us when we wrap up. Can the reporter please swear in the witness?
Holy shit, Chuck.
Do you solemnly declare and affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth?
That was a good dab.
Do you have any questions before we begin?
No.
I have a comment before we begin, please. Mr. Chairman, I want to start out by saying, as you know, yesterday there was a photo released, and I appreciate you assuring and admonishing the committee and all of us of our obligations. Obviously, we want to ensure that that doesn't happen again.
The Kings and Suns game is at 10 o'clock tonight. That's ridiculous.
Fakes that have now been circulating on the web, not because of anything that the committee did, but because of the release of this particular photograph. And for that reason, I would ask two things. One, a reminder to all that the obligation to maintain what is occurring in this room occurs. And two, a release of the video of the Secretary's testimony as soon as possible, ideally today, which was in 24 hours.
Though it ended years before his crimes came to light, and though I never witnessed during our limited interactions any indication of what was going on, I'm here to offer what little I know so I can do my part to prevent something like this from happening again. I have to just say one personal thing. Since Hillary came in yesterday, she had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Nothing. There's a picture of us both shaking hands with him in a photo line in 1993 at a fundraiser for the White House Historical Association. I don't know how it is under President Trump, but when I was there, it was about the most non-political operation you can imagine. There were people who loved the White House, who were interested in it, would give a little money every year to do things that needed doing around the house. And nothing nearly as extravagant as the ballroom or any of that, just things that had to be done. And neither she nor I remembered shaking his hand all those years ago. So I don't think that was right. On the other hand, I do think you should be talking to me. I think you should have called me. I did take those plane trips with him. and you have a right to ask those questions. So I'm glad to be here, and I understand what the oath is. I have to be honest with you. You know, I'll be 80 years old if I live to my next birthday. I don't remember everything that happened 24 years ago, but I do remember some things, and I will tell you what I remember as best I can. We, each of us, owe the victims nothing less than the truth and accuracy. We owe that to the American people. And I actually hope that you will be able to come up with some suggestions that will reduce human trafficking and especially focus on underage girls. I hope you'll be able to do that. I know that Hillary talked a little yesterday about what the State Department does and what she pushed on human trafficking. And
thank you. The time reads 11:28, and the majority's time will begin now. Mr. President, thank you for agreeing to testify today and for your years of service to our country. I want to start from the beginning. When did you first meet Jeffrey Epstein?
well, I will try in this testimony, and I will point it out when I'm aware there's a picture or something that's predates it. There's a picture that shows him shaking hands in the White House Historical Association reception. That was in 1993, but I'm not aware of that. I first remember meeting him when I got on his airplane to take the first trip with my foundation in, I think, 2002, whenever it was.
And to be clear,
yeah, I call bullshit on that one. Get the fuck out of here.
do you have any reason to believe that you may have met Mr. Epstein prior to becoming president of the United States?
Before I became president, no.
And you mentioned that your first memory of interacting with Mr. Epstein was on your first trip. Which trip specifically?
I'm not sure which one it was. Which one was the first? I took all or parts of 4 or 5 trips to Asia and Africa and one to Northern Europe on Mr. Epstein's airplane. And once when I was in Florida, I was offered a ride back to New York, but I wasn't there having it. It was just coincidental that he was there, and I think that was fairly early in the process. But I don't remember exactly. I just know that I did. I took one flight back from Florida to New York, and all or part of several other, I think 4 or 5 trips to Africa, Asia, and one to Northern Europe.
And I want to make sure the record is clear. Is it your testimony today that you have no independent recollection whatsoever of the circumstances of when you first met Mr. Epstein?
Objection asked and answered. You can answer again.
Yes, I do have a recollection of when I remember meeting him before this trip. I mean, on this trip when I took his plane.
Mr. President, we're going to discuss more specifics later, but for the record, can you briefly describe the nature and extent of your relationship with Mr. Epstein?
Well, sometime after I left the White House, either in late 2001 or early-ish in 2002, I received a call from Larry Summers, who had been on my economic team and was later Secretary of Treasury and was then president of Harvard. And he said that he was calling because a man named Jeffrey Epstein, who had made a substantial commitment of several $1 million, I think it was 10, but whatever it was, to brain research. And that he was a information hungry person, and he wanted to spend some time talking to me about economics and politics. And he said, he's got this massive airplane, and he said he would take you, your staff, your Secret Service detail, and anybody else you wanted to bring on the trips that he knew I was planning.
Get Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker in there as well, shall we? I think it's a good idea.
To set up a global network to provide life-saving AIDS medicine to as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. And I should back up and say, when I left office, we had done all the preliminary work to set up the Global Fund on AIDS, TB, and malaria, but it was not yet funded. And there were other instruments and institutions who were later founded, including President Bush's PEPFAR program. It had not yet been funded. There were only 200,000 people in the entire developing world who had AIDS medicine. Most of them in Brazil, which had a big drug operation on its own, and in Thailand, which also had its own drug population. In Africa, there were like 30,000 people or something, just next to no people. And they were dying like flies. And I thought we had found a way to drastically drive the price down. And that if we could drive the price down, we could, and empower people to administer the medicine right, we could save a lot of lives. And I was obsessed with it. And I was being helped by a man named Our Magaziner who had helped us in the White House and whom I had known since we lived as Rhodes Scholars together in the 1960s. So anyway, that's why when Larry Summers said this, I thought, boy, this would be great. And so we followed up and took the troops.
Mr. President, when did your relationship with Mr. Epstein end?
When did it end? Well, I believe I took my last flight in 2003. Now, later I became aware of some involvement he had in the first Clinton Global Initiative, but it was much later.
Why did your relationship with Mr. Epstein end?
Well, after a year or two, we really picked up a head of steam with this AIDS program, and a lot of other people whom I knew better and who really cared about the work came forward and offered to help us provide transportation. And I thought Mr. Epstein was an interesting man, but I didn't think he was really interested in what I was doing.
He's probably right there. He's only using him for the shit he wanted to do.
That is, he asked all these questions. He did ask about economics and politics, as he said he would. And he never asked me anything untoward. It's just that I thought I had done what I promised to do, and he had done what he promised to do. And I thought, I've always, over the years, with these donors, tried not to overstay my welcome. I thought that we'd done enough, and it's time to start working with other people.
When did you first learn of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes?
I think in 2008 when he was prosecuted. There's nothing that I saw when I was around him that made me realize he was trafficking women, and I never.
Let's talk about Ghislaine Maxwell. When did you first meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
I believe I first met her with him when she was working with him.
And what did you understand?
That one I don't believe, because I think she's deeper into this shit than Epstein was. Like, for real.
Miss Maxwell, and what did you understand her relationship to be with Mr. Epstein?
I thought she was sort of his chief of staff or administrator.
And you said that you first met Miss Maxwell with Mr. Epstein. Is that after you were president?
Yeah, I don't believe I met her when I was president. I couldn't have. I met a lot of people, I don't remember, but I definitely remember meeting her on that first flight.
Can you briefly, for the record, describe the nature and extent of your relationship with Miss Maxwell?
Yes, it was. It lasted longer and was more extensive than my relationship with Mr. Epstein, because Ghislaine Maxwell started going with a man named Ted Waite, who had made a lot of money making the first sort of self-designed computers. And he was a big supporter of mine and the foundation.
Of course, Ghislaine was a part of, the guy who started computers. Or whatever he said.
Before we started seeing Glenn, we've been no. Mr. Epstein or Miss Maxwell.
Karina Shuliak.
I don't believe I know who that is. I don't think I've ever met that person.
Woody Allen.
I do know who he is, but I don't think I ever met him, and I never talked to him about Epstein or Maxwell.
Sandy Berger.
Sandy Berger was my national security advisor, and we were very close personally, but he's been dead for several years. And I don't think I ever talked to him about either one of those people.
Jess Staley.
Jess Staley?
Correct.
No.
Paul Morris.
I don't believe I know him.
L.E.D. Rothschild.
Who Rothschild?
L.E.D. Rothschild.
L.E.D.?
Mm-hmm.
I know Evelyn Rothschild. Is that who it is?
No, and I have other Rothschilds on this list as well.
I'm not sure who L.E.D. Rothschild is. I've met a bunch of them when I spoke at the funeral for Evelyn Rothschild. And I have met some of the others, one couple in France once 20 years ago, but I don't remember him.
Lynn Borser Rothschild.
Yes, I know her, but I don't remember.
The Rothschilds, chat. The fucking Rothschilds.
Glenn Dubin.
I don't believe I know him.
Eva Anderson.
I don't believe I know her.
Casey Wasserman.
I know him, and he was on a trip to Africa with me. But I don't recall ever discussing either Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein with him.
Ira Magaziner.
Yes, I think I mentioned him earlier.
Who?
He was the person who basically helped me start the AIDS program, and he ran the Clinton Help years ago. Either Epstein or Roth.
Karen Ewing.
No.
Stacy Plaskett.
Stacy Plaskett is the member of Congress from the Virgin Islands, isn't she?
Correct.
I know her. But I don't recall ever discussing Epstein or Maxwell.
Howard Lutnick.
Howard Lutnick is the Secretary of Commerce, right?
Correct.
I know him and from 9/11, and because Hillary worked with his company and helped him to get going again.
Bruh.
But, and I know he's now President Trump's Secretary of Commerce, but I don't remember ever having any conversation with him about Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell.
Bruh.
Doug Band.
And he worked for me for years. And I know that he arranged like airplane flights and things like that, and was doing work on the first Clinton Global Initiative in 2005. And to what extent he was in contact with them, have any idea, something then I can tell you, and I knew something.
Thank you, and we will return to Mr. Band. Louis Freeh.
I do know him, to the best of my questions with him.
Robert Rubin.
Bob Rubin was Larry Summers' predecessor as Treasury Secretary.
Yep. And I will read it into the record and ask you a few questions. Wrote a get well soon note to Epstein's ailing mother. Hang in there, the president scrawled on a yellow post-it, which...
It was cordial.
At any time would you characterize Mr. Epstein as a friend?
We were friendly, but I didn't know him well enough to say we were friends.
How often did you communicate with Mr. Epstein?
Usually only on the trips. I did go to his house once, as you know.
And we will discuss that further later on today. And how did you typically communicate with Mr. Epstein? Did you talk to him on the phone?
Excuse me, he just said he talked to him on the trips, so that's in person.
Typically, my staff communicated with with him. I think it was mostly Mr. Band.
Related to young women or girls?
No.
Ever have any communications with Mr. Epstein that related to young women or girls?
No.
Bruh.
Excuse me, do you have your fantastic?
Clinton is shocked. Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah. Some of it seems genuine, But some of it seems like he's definitely, like that last one about the young girls and women with Epstein talking about it. Yeah, he's lying.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. President. How are you?
Fine.
I want to first start out by asking you, have you ever been or traveled on, or has Huma Abedin ever traveled on Epstein's plane?
If you know.
I don't know. She might have taken one of the trips with us, but I don't know.
Okay, so have you flown on a plane with her?
Several times.
Several times?
When you say have you flown on a plane, any plane?
The Lolita Express.
What is that when you say that?
Have you flown on the Lolita Express with Jeffrey?
Objection.
I don't know what that is.
Have you flown on Jeffrey Epstein's plane with Huma Abedin?
Asked and answered, you may answer again.
I don't remember, but I have flown. She's been sort of a part of our family for a very long time. So, and when I went to the Middle East, which I don't think I ever took a plane with Jeffrey Epstein, but she would typically.
I do believe that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence operative, and so this was a passport that was actually entered in and released by the Department of Justice, but this was an FBI filing. It was found in his safe, if you will. So it's an alias. So the reason I ask you that is because given your nature and position, I'm wondering if you were essentially targeted by a honeypot operation and or by intelligence to gather information. So that's why I asked you that question.
Mr. President, there's not a question.
I have a question.
No. You can ask a question.
Well, I'll be getting to more, but that's the reason I asked that. Okay, my next question for you is, have you ever had contact with an individual by the name of Shantae Davies?
I believe Shantae that's a distinctive name, and so I think that was the name of one of his flight attendants.
Okay. She's been described on being on a 2002 Africa trip and providing massages. Was she or any other young female on that trip underage at that time?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did you ever receive a massage?
Rose
or
Council is
physical
stressing, yeah, they're like, answer, now. Answer, go. Do it. He's like,
her or anyone else on that trip?
You've seen the pictures. There was one time when I was sitting up and I got a back rub, a neck rub.
Okay.
And I think Shantae did it, but I'm not sure.
Did you ever visit Epstein's Little St. James Island?
No.
We have Virginia Guthrie.
that was a fast ass no.
Who has testified seeing you on the island with two young girls. Did this occur at all? Okay. Why do you think she would have made that claim?
Objection, speculation. He can't possibly.
Have you ever met her or any other Epstein associated underage girl?
Not to my knowledge.
In Epstein's 2016 deposition unsealed in the DOJ files, he refused to answer if you were accompanied by two young women who were approximately 18 years old on the island. Were any such women underage with you? I know you've stated that you were not there, but did you have any interaction with the said
Objection to the foundation of the question. He's already stated he was not on the island. You're now asking about a claim of the Fifth Amendment by Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay. Would the staff be able? Go ahead.
If the witness doesn't know, the witness is welcome to say he doesn't know.
No, but he actually answered the question.
Yeah, he answered the question,
That he
but
wasn't on the island, so then she was asked.
Okay. Do you know an individual by the name of Sarah Ransom?
I don't believe so.
Okay. There have obviously been claims made about you, and I do not believe that these claims are credible. The reason I am asking you specifically about that name is because that individual stated that you were in sex tapes, okay? It was unfounded and it was discredited. But given the politicization of this entire investigation, do you believe that it would be appropriate of members of this committee to bring in witnesses, whether it is about you or another president, that have unfounded allegations regarding sexual claims of misconduct?
That's not a decision for me to make.
As a recommendation in regards to avoiding trafficking, etc., and bringing justice for the victims, Would you make that recommendation to this committee?
Just so I understand the question, you're saying if the witness has unfounded claims?
Well, I don't believe that Sarah Ransom's claims about the president are founded. I don't believe that there's sex tapes with you, President Clinton.
No, I'm just asking about your question. Is it, you're not asking if somebody with plausible claims should be brought in. You're asking if somebody with implausible, unfounded claims.
Correct, because these claims were found to be unfounded by investigators.
So are you asking his opinion?
Yes, because we're trying to figure out in regards to being able to further this investigation and whether or not we are going to be interviewing other individuals regarding sex trafficking, avoiding in the future. I know that you and your wife have both been big on this issue. So I'm asking you, would you think that it would be appropriate that this committee bring in someone like Sarah Ransom, who has unfounded claims that have been debunked in this investigation? It's
He
a
answered
simple
the question about, he answered this question when you first asked him, when he said that it wasn't for him to make those decisions.
Well, I'm asking for his recommendation to the committee and follow-up. It's not a gotcha question. This is obviously a very serious investigation.
Well, first of all, I recommend that you have on your staff a prosecutor who's had a lot of experience in this, dealing with these cases. Normally, it's not a good idea to bring in a witness that you know is lying.
Okay. Thank you for that. My last.
He's got a point, but it's one of the biggest cases in the history of society. So claims, regardless of proof, unfounded proof or not, if it's somebody who, like, it's weird.
Last questions for you are you familiar with anyone by the name of Adriana Ross?
I don't think so.
How about Sarah Kellen?
I don't think so.
Okay. Would you recommend that this committee bring in individuals that were listed as trafficking minors? They were listed as co-conspirators and then given plea deals.
I don't know enough about it, but I think you should do whatever you think will strengthen the ability of the United States not to have this happen again.
Okay. Is it possible, and in your opinion, that you and or your wife were targeted as a means of an intelligence gap?
Breaking news, Iran apparently destroyed a U.S. ship. Apparently. A U.S. destroyer. Interesting.
Gathering operation.
Why the dabs sound like you smoking rocks? It's a good question. It's probably because it's reclaim. That's also what it is. I have a bunch of wax. That's just, I have like my regular wax, reclaim. I have a lot of reclaim.
Object to the form of the question. Object to the form of the question. No objection to if he knows that they were targeted.
I believe that's what she asked.
No, she said it's impossible, so she's asking him to speculate instead of asking him,
Do you know if you were targeted at any point?
I don't, but I don't. I'd sort of be surprised, but I'm not. I don't know.
Okay. All right, Chairman Comer, I think that's my time. I just want to say thank you very much, President Clinton, for coming in, and I do understand that this has been politicized, but again, I will state on record, and I will state this to the press, that I don't believe that Sarah Kellen's claims against you were valid. Thank you.
Mr. President, before we left off, I asked you to characterize your relationship with Mr. Epstein. I asked you if you considered him to be a friend. You said you did not. Is that right?
I said we were friendly and we had a cordial relations, but I didn't know him well enough because we had almost no contact beyond what I described.
At this time, I'd like to introduce what will be marked as Majority Exhibit 13. And this is Bates marked House Oversight 000126. And while it's being passed out, this is a letter from a book of letters, which
Yeah,
is
it's his 50th birthday.
Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday.
Questions?
Yeah.
Mr. President, do you recognize this letter? And for the record, does this appear to be your handwriting and signature?
It is.
And why did you write this letter?
Why did I? Because I was requested to contribute a nice letter for his birthday book.
And who asked you to write the letter?
I don't remember.
Would Miss Maxwell have asked
I
you?
don't know. I think someone on my staff asked me.
Now, there's a word that our committee has not been able to.
I know.
and
He's like, shut the fuck up unless they ask a question. That's fucking hilarious.
That's the Wall Street
Wait,
Journal.
what happened here?
Now,
the bruh.
There's a word that our committee has not been able to identify, and in our defense, the Wall Street Journal has not been able to identify.
Imagine being on his staff.
Can you please read the letter for the record?
Yes. It's reassuring, isn't it, to have lasted so long across all the years of learning and knowing, adventures and errors, and still to have your childlike curiosity, the drive to make a difference, and the solace of friends. Not a bad letter.
And because we haven't been able to,
Not a bad letter.
and because we haven't been able to identify that word until now, what did you
Which
mean?
word was it that you could not?
Solace, you couldn't?
No, errors.
Errors. What did I mean? Anybody who's lived 50 years and done anything has made mistakes as well as progress and done things.
But for the record, you weren't referring to errors in judgment that Mr. Epstein had related to his inappropriate activities involving you.
Absolutely not. I knew nothing about that.
Did you ever see the birthday book compiled together?
I don't think so.
A framed photo on a wooden table alongside multiple other framed photos, and we're focusing on the photo in the middle, which appears to have a golden frame.
Where is it?
I think you were okay. Right there.
Not the page with the Pope.
Yeah, okay, that's it.
Page 10. Is that what we're on?
Page 10. Mr. President, do you recognize yourself in this photo?
I do.
And it appears that the man on the right of the photo is Jeffrey Epstein, is that correct?
I think so.
Have you seen this photograph before today?
Only in this picture.
And for the record, what is happening in this photo?
He's smiling at me, looks like he's talking to me.
This is one of the friendly interactions that you were describing earlier?
Yes.
And can you describe the circumstances surrounding this photo?
Are you asking him if he recalls the?
I do not. I have no idea.
I mean, yeah, he's old as shit.
Branston in the back and other people. But I don't remember anything about it.
And you appear to be comfortable with Mr. Epstein in this photo. Would you disagree with that characterization?
You're creating a characterization. He's already responded to your question about the picture.
I'm comfortable with all of it. I'm comfortable here. I'm not happy, but I'm comfortable.
Do they show the painting with him in a dress?
And my conscience is clear. That helps.
Sure.
Let me see. Okay.
Mr. President, we have about 5 minutes remaining.
My God, bro, it's just reminiscing. Jesus.
Bruh.
Okay.
Mr. President, we have about 5 minutes remaining in the majority's first hour, so I just want to ask you some questions.
There was referring to President Trump. New public and everyone in Congress understands that at this point. President Trump does not like talking about his long-standing personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. I think we've all seen that as well. On November 12th of last year, Oversight Committee Democrats released emails that were obtained from the estate of Jeffrey Epstein. In one email from 2011, Epstein said to Ghislaine Maxwell that President Trump was, quote, that dog that hasn't barked, and that an unnamed victim, quote, spent hours at my house with him. In another email from 2019, Epstein wrote that, quote, of course he, referring to President Trump, knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. I'd like to enter as Minority Exhibit A, Oversight Democrats press release from November 12th, 2025, titled House Oversight Committee releases Jeffrey Epstein email correspondence raising questions about White House cover-up of Epstein files. And that includes both the emails that I just mentioned. There was a fair amount of public attention on those emails, and 2 days later, President Trump asked the Department of Justice to investigate Epstein's relationships with yourself, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, and J.P. Morgan Chase. You are, of course, a former Democratic president of the United States.
I don't know what this notification I just got from drop sites about. Let's take a gander. Never mind.
Notably, President Trump did not include any Republicans in his demands. Later that day, Attorney General Pam Bondi posted on social media that the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York would comply with President Trump's directive and take the lead on the investigation. I would like to enter as Minority Exhibit B, Attorney General Bondi's post on X, which also includes President Trump's post on Truth Social. It is well understood that you had a personal relationship with Mr. Epstein, and we will talk about that today, but the events I just described color our perspective on the conversation. It appears as if you and other Democratic figures have been targeted by President Donald Trump in an attempt to distract the American people from his own long-standing relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And if that were true, it would not be the first time that President Trump has targeted his political enemies under the guise of law enforcement. This deposition is occurring in the context of unprecedented weaponization of the Department of Justice by Donald Trump. You may have a perspective on this of your own, so before we get started, I just want to give you the opportunity to share any thoughts you might have on that subject.
I think I'll let you ask me some questions, and then maybe at the end I'll say something.
That sounds fine. Thank you. I'd like to start our conversation with a few foundational questions so we can just set the record straight from the very beginning. With respect to your relationship with Mr. Epstein, did you ever, at any point during your interactions with Jeffrey Epstein, know about the sexual abuse that he was committing against minors and young women?
No.
Have you ever engaged in sexual activity with a person introduced to you by Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
With respect to your relationship with Ms. Ghislaine
Folks.
Maxwell, did you ever, at any point during your interactions with Ghislaine Maxwell, know about the sexual abuse that she committed and facilitated against minors and young women?
No.
Have you ever engaged in sexual activity with a person introduced to you by Ghislaine Maxwell?
No.
have you ever, at any point, visited Jeffrey Epstein's former estate on Little St. James Island in the U.S. Virgin Islands?
No.
In February of last year, Attorney General Pam Bondi said on Fox News that you traveled on Mr. Epstein's plane, quote, because it supposedly had a bed in there where Jeffrey Epstein had young girls. I will ask you, did you fly on Mr. Epstein's plane because it had a bed where Jeffrey Epstein had young girls?
No.
Are there any other accusations that have been made against you with respect to Mr. Epstein that you'd like to address before we get started with some chronological questions?
Well, I think you pretty well covered it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeffrey Epstein and Jimmy Buffett. I recognize Jimmy Buffett. He was a longtime friend of mine. He performed. He paid a visit.
Thank you. Just want to again thank you for being here and answering.
Yes.
No, at the time it happened, I was.
You asked the question. I'm going to answer your question.
Now you're going to.
This was what I spent my time doing.
I'm a survivor trying to look out for other survivors trying to.
And I was taking care of
waited
the
6
people
months
who
to
lost
get here today.
3,000
6
lives.
months, and that... Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Secretary, thank you for returning this afternoon. Secretary Clinton, is your husband someone the committee should investigate?
My husband will be here tomorrow. You'll have a chance to ask him questions.
So my question is your husband is someone this committee should investigate?
Ask and answer.
Apparently you are. You've subpoenaed him. He's going to be here tomorrow.
In your testimony before the break, you discussed why you believe President Trump should testify before our committee due to a, quote, pattern of behavior, end quote. You testified that a pattern of behavior warrants accountability. So I want to make sure I understand your standard correctly. The pattern of behavior you describe includes being held civilly liable, indictments, sexually deviant behavior, correct?
Yes.
In 1998, your husband was found civilly liable for sexual misconduct with Paula Jones and settled for $850,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
By your standard of pattern of behavior, should your husband testify before this committee?
He is testifying.
Visited Epstein's island.
That is not true. That is absolutely untrue.
Well, there's documentation in the DOJ files. I'm not sure you're aware, your attorneys have told you, but Jeffrey Epstein told one of the victims to lie to investigators, to lie that Bill Clinton was ever on Epstein Island. I can provide that document to you.
We would like that document, please.
Yeah, counsel, because actually the files say just the opposite. Epstein himself denied he was.
These are FBI notes from an interview with a victim, and I can get you the victim number and the case number and the files. These are notes from a 302 interview.
If you like those, are you going to provide those now?
I don't. That's not my line of questioning. She brought it up, but I have a
I'm
document.
sorry, you're making a representation as to the fact.
I didn't enter anything as an exhibit.
But it's factually inaccurate.
Jeffrey Epstein, one who had a substantial pattern and practice of contact with Jeffrey Epstein and his crimes before they came to light and after. He will answer your questions to the best of his ability, but there is no evidence whatsoever.
Why is the quality in 360p, bro? What is going on? This shit's AI. No, it's not AI. But, who the fuck knows? But this shit's crazy, chat. Alright. I'm gonna make some ramen noodles. She was heated, she was. I'm hungry, and I haven't eaten since like 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. And I'm gonna make some ramen noodles, because they exist within space and time. And they sound kind of good. I'll probably be live tomorrow night as well. We'll probably play some Warzone. Not tonight, though. I don't want to do that. It doesn't sound like an exciting time. It really does not. Oh, the beeping, folks.
Bruh. Bruh.
Wrong one.
Liberal, 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 liberal. Happy fun, la la la. Human smuggling, fentanyl deaths. Forced government euthanasia, chopping up children's genitals, la 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 la.